Hare Krishna. There are four kinds of devotees who are the receptacles of the four kinds of mellows in love of God, namely servitude, friendship, the parental affection, that is vatsalya, and the conjugal love. So, most of them are in this four mellows, and one is higher than the other. Each kind of devotee feels that his sentiment is the most excellent, and in that mood, he tastes great happiness with Lord Krishna. Now, the beginning, there are four mellows. People also talk of the Shanta Bhav. They say that is the beginning, but that is not given by the Lord to anyone. Each devotee has his own sentiments in the beginning, which culminates into dasya, and the dasya is of dasya, and then these other four mellows. So each one, according to his own likings, gets into this four mellows based on his development in the path of bhakti gradually. So each kind of devotee feels that his sentiment is the most excellent, and thus in that mood he tastes great happiness with Lord Krishna. If we compare the sentiments in an impartial mood, we find the conjugal sentiment is superior to all others in sweetness, and increasing love is experienced in various days, one above another. But that love, which is the highest taste in the gradual succession of desire, manifests itself in the form of conjugal love. The conjugal love, most of them misunderstand it, and it is the state in which most service happens. The devotee is able to serve the Lord to the fullest, more greater than each of this four, each of this three, the lower threes. So there is no inhibition, there's no nothing that stops him from serving the Lord. He is able to serve Lord in all situations, and thus he's protected by the Lord. So this is the mellow in which the maximum service is possible to the Lord. In other moods, the Lord, rather than he being served, may serve the devotee, which a devotee would not like if he is in the highest state of the taste of this mellows. So one higher than the other. Now, increasing love is experienced. Now we saw that conjugal love, that is called as madhur ras. It has, namely, there are again sections in that, and each has its own beauty, but the taste is different, the higher than the other. In the case of the bhakti of Radha-Krishna, the competition is all about always serving the Lord, and excelling in that, and being able to serve more. So, from that point of view, if one is desiring to serve the Lord, he can go accordingly and form his own path accordingly and seek the mercy of the Lord. That is the freedom granted. It's not that one is aspiring for devotional service, and he's stuck in a lower taste, mellow. It's not like that. He can gradually rise to what he deserves and what he asks the Lord for. So that is the Lord's mercy on the souls, and He grants it to them. So if you are in a particular mellow at present and you find that you're not getting anywhere close to what the your goal is, then you need not worry about it at all. The first step is already reached, so you must gradually reach to the point where you're able to serve the Lord and understand what is service. So that's all about it. And not that the dasya is less or the vatsalya is less than the madhurya, that is the conjugal mood. Each has its own beauty. You cannot compare it like that, but the level of surrender is achieved to the maximum in the Madhurya Rati, that is the conjugal mood. So, if anybody is of the Dasya Bhav and in Vrindavan, or if somebody is of Vatsalya Bhav, then the comparing between the two is not right. Both are good in their, both are best in their own way because they have served the Lord and they have given some joy to the Lord. So that worshipful sentiment is there. But in terms of service, the quality of service, when it comes to, like, it's the mood of surrender. Basically the surrender is maximum and it goes on increasing up to the beyond even Madhurya Rati. So that is the beauty of this mellows. Each one has its own importance, not that one is greater, one is lesser, and comparing so would be in offense. We cannot compare this way. So that is an offense. And in the kingdom of Lord, the Vrindavan, the Lord of Vrindavan, this comparison is not valid. So this is an offense and one must avoid it. So there is great increase of mellow in the conjugal mood of the unwedded, the unwedded conjugal mood. They call this terms. There's no better way to explain it to a beginner. It, it sounds a little different, but it really has to be understood only by when one surrenders. One just cannot understand with the words. He must get confused. What would you, what would a picture come to your mind? It will only reveal that your state of mind is impure yet. Your heart has a lot of impurities which need to be cleared before you can understand this mellow mood. So just understand this concept and you should not compare it to the worldly in terms of worldly. Any scriptural text can be understood best only when you don't have any empirical comparison. Empirical means having a prior experience of that situation. You never have had a prior experience. That is why you're here. Otherwise, you would have gone to the service path directly and done some devotional service and acquired some good fortune. So, empirical means having a prior experience of it. In this material world, we do not have any experience of the spiritual kingdom. Even if we have one, it will always be needed to look at and review it again. Why? Because the Lord's Leelas, pastimes are like that. They are super fast happening, in a cyclic fashion. And if you catch only one and then you define Lord only on the basis of that, then you will be doing injustice to yourself because the spiritual kingdom of Lord Krishna is too vast and you have to always be with the current situation. Whatever is the latest happening in the Leela, you have to be there in order to serve the Lord. But that is the information we have, that is the way it is. But if not, then you should be close to where it is. Otherwise, you will fall into empirical comparison and you will degrade. So that is the indication given here. So if you compare this and play with these words, and it is simply empirical. So anytime, and it is said that the Radha-Krishna Bhakti path is not at all entertaining any kind of mental speculation. So this is the first, it's like it's a very scientific thing. Mental speculation means you will have empirical base to justify your point of view, and it is not depending on your on what you would see. It is what it is. So it must be understood only in the mood of surrender and surrender to the right person. So it is up to you to find out what is right, what is wrong. Am I right? Am I on the path? Am I in the right mood? Am I violating anything? Am I serving Krishna? So, all this kind of questions. Now, this love is found nowhere but in Vraja. So, in Vraja, this kind of mood, this mellow is found. Now, what is Vraja? Actually, it is a bhav. So, it's not like it is a place. Vraja means some place, like a place in northern parts of India, which is in the west, which is that Vrindavan, which is in the west, and I think it is on the borders of Rajasthan and some border of the northern parts. So not exactly, I'm not aware of it in the terms of geographical locations, but and I have never been there. So, um, but I have heard about it in the scriptures, and I believe someday I hope to be able to go there. So in Vraja, this mood is there among the damsels of Vraja, who are better known as the servitors of the Ladini Shakti of Lord Krishna, and they are called as Gopi. A Gopi is a Sanskrit term, so that devotee who has attained that level of surrender to Radha-Krishna in Vraja is a gopi. So more in particular, more about serving Srimati Radharani in that bhav, because she is the one who gives to pure devotees the Vraja bhav. The Vraja bhav means complete surrender, no mental speculation. So that is what we understand to begin with, and surrender to a guru who has achieved this level of devotion. So we must one must find out such a guru who is a devotee of Radha Krishna in this mood, and surrender to him, serve him, and then we'll be able to understand to begin with. And gradual, then there is a gradual progress as you surrender more, then you have more understanding. So, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. So, how much surrender you do, you get that much understanding. And understanding means again the intelligence to serve them. The lordships, their lordships, Radha Krishna. So, her Radharani's pure, mature love surpasses all of others. Her love is the cause of Lord Krishna's tasting the sweetness of the conjugal relationships. Therefore, Lord Gaurang, who is Sri Hari himself, accepted the sentiments of Radha and fulfilled his own desires. Now, would a Lord have a desire? Why would a Lord, the Supreme Personality, why would he have a desire? Desires are for us, people like us who are in this world. We are all having desires, some or the other, but some or the other. Then why would a Lord have desire? So, what is his desire? So, this is a very great concept in the pure devotion, and we got to know this. This is fortune, but it has to be practiced. Only knowing is okay, but then practical its practical application is the true progress. How do we do that? So it is all described in the scriptures. You can read it in the Bhagavatam, but you need a guru to lead you to that path, because anything in the path of love need two people, isn't it? So this is bhakti path, and there is guru and there's disciple. So there are two people needed, guru and the disciple. And the full surrender to the guru ensures the progress of the disciple. So Lord Gaurang, who is Sri Hari himself, he accepted the sentiments of Radha and thus fulfilled his own desires. Chaitanya is the shelter of the demigods, the goal of the Upanishads, the all and all of the great sages. He is a beautiful shelter of his devotees and the essence of the love of whom the lotus eyed gopis. So, Krishna desired to taste the limitless nectarian mellows of the love of one of his multitude of loving damsels, and he assumed the form of Lord Chaitanya. He had tasted that love while hiding his own dark complexion with her effulgent yellow color. They are always talking about the loving affairs of Radha Krishna, and these are the transcendental manifestations of the Lord's eternal pleasure giving potency. Now, although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they are one in identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now, these two transcendental identities united in the form of Lord Chaitanya, Radha Krishna are one and the same but assumed two bodies. Now, this when you read, when you surrender, as when you read and you know this is only truly based on surrender, then you can understand them and get the joy of reading this pastimes. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. And the purity of the heart is the factor that will speed up the process. Now, what is purity? Purity means getting their mercy and nothing else. When does one receive mercy of the same Lord? Anyone can tell you that, and it is not so difficult to understand. If you want the mercy of the Lord, you have to surrender, and you have to walk on their path as they have told. You must walk and live by their instructions. Then one day, this is not far away, when the heart will be purified, and you must get a glimpse of their mercy. And that is the way. So, Srimati Radhika is the transformation of Krishna's love. She is the internal energy of the Lord, called as Ladini Shakti. The Ladini Shakti gives Krishna pleasure and nourishes his devotees. The Lord is able to shower mercy on his devotees by the mercy of his purest devotees. That is why we have to be very much devoted to the pure devotees, because that's the sure short way to get the mercy. Now the Lord is fully relying on Radharani for the showering his mercy. What does that mean? He relies on Radharani for showering mercy to the devotees. What does it mean? That one has to surrender to the pure devotee who has already attained the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, to get this mercy, the special mercy, the purity of heart, and the love of Radha-Krishna. So, Lord Krishna's body is eternal, full of bliss, Satchit Anand. His one spiritual energy manifests three forms. Now, Ladini is the aspect of bliss, Sandini, the eternal existence, and Samvit of cognizance, which is knowledge, the transcendental knowledge. So, uh, so he's the support of everything. The three attributes modes which cause happiness, misery, and the mixture of the two do not exist in the Lord. So for the material world, the Lord has he is not related to the material world at all in a direct way at all. So then how are we going to ever serve him? We are bound by Maya, but the Lord is transcendental. Then how are we ever going to find him out, be able to serve him? So we need the mercy of Srimati Radharani. The material, for you have no material quality. The Lord, the devotee is praising here about Lord Krishna. He says the essential portion of the Sandini potency is Shuddha Sattva. The Sandini aspect, the essential portion of it is Shuddha Sattva. Lord Krishna's existence rests upon it. Krishna's mother, father, abode, house, bedding, seats, and so on are all transformations of Shuddha Sattva. In Shuddha Sattva, the condition of pure goodness in which the Lord is revealed without any covering is Vasudev. The condition of the pure goodness, the Shuddha Sattva, in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is revealed without any covering. Without any covering means the direct is Vasudev. In that pure state, the Supreme Godhead, who is beyond the material senses and known as Vasudev, is perceived by it is perceived by the mind. The essence of the Samvit potency is knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. And all other kind of knowledge, such as the knowledge of Brahman, or the components of it, the sub-components you can see. The essence of Ladini potency is love of God. The essence of love of God is emotion, that is bhav. The essence of Ladini potency of the Lord is love of Godhead. And the essence of love of God, what is it? It is bhav. And the ultimate development of the bhav, it ultimate development. Then there is a stage where there is ultimate development too, and that it's stage one. If one reaches, then one can understand Radha Krishna. So, Rashimati Radharani is the embodiment of that state of devotion. She is a repository of all good qualities and the crest jewel among all lovely consorts of Lord Krishna. All the energies that serve the Lord, Srimati Radharani is the most topmost and full of good qualities and the crest jewel of these two gopis. There are two principal gopis of Radharani and Chandravali. So Radharani is superior in all respects, and being embodiment of that, she surpasses all in the good qualities. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She does nothing else than just serving the Lord unconditional. She has nothing for her own. She has no desire for her own. All she is disposed towards only serving the Lord. Her mind, senses, body deeply are deeply in for only the service of the Lord. She is Krishna's own energy and helps him in his pastimes. So this there's a lot, and we reading about Radharani is not enough. It's a vast it's a vast topic.